Good morning. Thank you for joining me again. It's pretty early. I know, 6 o'clock. It's early. But I'm happy to see you. If you are returning, I'm happy to see you again. If this is your first time joining us, please go back to season 1, episode 1, so that you know what we're talking about in this episode, which is season 1, episode 3. See you on the other side. Good morning again. We have been really working through a few concepts, and I took my time because I really want you to focus on one small piece at a time. Well, now we're about to move into 2 different pieces. One is we're going to talk a bit about the angelic and the human. I'm going to drill down into that. That's first thing. Second thing we're going to do is discuss David Copperfield. We're going to discuss David Copperfield because Helen Andelin discusses David Copperfield. That's why. And then we're going to talk through rules of acceptance. And then we have another assignment. So get yourself together, get your good stuff. Let's get started. All right. The angelic and the human. 2 sides of a woman that Helen Andelin says that men are seeking. So you're supposed to strive for being the best of both worlds. The ideal woman, I'm reading directly from the book now. The ideal woman, from a man's point of view, is divided into 2 parts, the angelic and the human. The angelic side has to do with her spiritual qualities. This includes her good character, understanding of men, domestic skills, and a quality of inner happiness. The human side refers to her appearance, manner, and feminine nature, and includes the charms of femininity, radiance, good health, and childlikeness. I think I read that to you before. That word childlikeness keeps coming back though. Anyway, the angelic and the human combine to make the perfect woman from a man's point of view. They are both essential in winning his genuine love. When you listed your 25 qualities, things that you liked about yourself, how many of them would you say were angelic and how many were human? Did you take a look at that? If you did, then you should be able to separate that list and know whether you're lopsided or not. Not the most elegant word, or eloquent word, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, moving on into David Copperfield. If you don't know the story, what's more important is that you understand the nature of the people in the story. So there's David Copperfield. He grows up with Agnes, who's his, spiritual partner, meant to be. And nevertheless ends up marrying Dora. Dora is more of the angelic sort who has to be taken care of and coddled to and that type of thing. Whereas, again, Agnes was the one who was more of a comrade for David. In the end, he marries Dora. Dora dies, and then he marries Agnes. And as the story unfolds, it becomes apparent that he never found complete love with either of them. So it begs the question, what qualities of Agnes were present and which were lacking, and the same for Dora. I want to read one other passage, and this is really getting right down to the brass tacks of the matter, and it is where the rubber meets the road. And it reads as follows. If Agnes had had Dora's girlishness, her adorable human and childlike manner, and her dependency upon men for their protection and guidance, David would never have made the mistake of marrying another. On the other hand, if Dora had had the sympathetic understanding, the appreciation of his highest ideals, and the depth of character of Agnes, David's mad infatuation for her would have developed into everlasting adoration. Helen Andelin goes on to analyze both Agnes and Dora. Agnes had more of the human qualities. She had a pure and lovely character. She understood men. She had inner happiness. She was capable as a housekeeper, and yet lacking. She did not have that dependency. She was too independent for David. She lacked the girlish, childlike, trusting qualities. She lacked the gentle, tender, fascinating little ways that stir a man's heart. As far as Dora is concerned, remember Dora is the one who likes to be coddled and the queen bee. It seems that what she had were an enchanting manner, a childlike girlishness about her, tender little ways. Radiantly happy she was, bright-eyed and dependent. What she lacked was in terms of her homemaking skills. She lacked character, and she did not understand men. I won't ask you to read David Copperfield. I have no intention of going back to read that at this point in my life, but the lessons are there. And then the author goes on to talk about another character called Déruchette from Toilers of the Sea by Victor Hugo. If you know her story, she is, according to this author, a great balance of the two. She strikes it in the middle and she becomes the ideal woman. Therefore, her angelic qualities, or your angelic qualities, our angelic qualities, should be that we understand men, that we have inner happiness, a worthy character, we are domestic goddesses, and we awaken a feeling near worship in a man, bringing him peace and happiness. As far as the human qualities are concerned, did I get that backwards? Let me try this again. Therefore, when you are evaluating your qualities, then the angelic qualities are going to be those qualities that demonstrate that you understand men, you have inner happiness, you have a worthy character, and you are a domestic goddess, cooking and cleaning and everything. It says here that you will awaken a feeling near worship in a man, bringing him peace and happiness. Under human qualities, the ideal woman is feminine, radiates happiness, has radiant health, and is childlike. And these are qualities that fascinate, amuse, enchant, and arouse a tender desire to protect and shelter in a man. So what we have here are two sides to every woman, angelic and human, to form or develop the perfect woman. Are you angelic? Or are you human? Or are you both? I'd have to think about that one for a while. I think if it weren't called angelic, I would say delightful. I think I'm delightful. I'll go with delightful. There are 7 rules for acceptance. Helen Andelin is suggesting a woman embrace. Number 1, get rid of self-righteous attitudes. This has to do with the way you feel about his failures or his shortcomings or his weaknesses. We have an exercise to do, and you'll know what I mean when you start doing the exercise. Okay? Great. Number 2, accept him as part virtue and part fault. Number 3, give him his freedom to be himself. Number 4, don't try to improve him. Number 5, and here comes a motorcycle on my number 5. Number 5, don't use other men as shining examples. Number 6, look to his better side. And number 7, express acceptance in words. Don't just accept it, acknowledge it verbally. Now, it's time to get on to this assignment. Now you'll understand the number 1 about getting rid of self-righteous attitudes. All right, assignment number 1. There are 2. You should make a list of your husband's faults that annoy you the most. I mean, to the tooth. List them and then set them aside. And whenever you find yourself aggravated, ask yourself if you aren't asking him to be someone other than who he really is. Furthermore, are you refusing to accept something about him that you already know to be true? Are you pushing back, digging in your heels? I'm just asking. All right. The second assignment is interesting. She is suggesting here to do an icebreaker with your partner. And you're going to say something like this, and I quote, "I am glad you are the kind of man you are. I can see I have not understood you in the past and that I've made many mistakes, but I'm glad you have not allowed me to push you around. You have not been like putty in my hands, but have had the courage of your convictions. Will you forgive me for not understanding you and let me prove to you that I can be a wonderful wife?" Question mark. And that, friends, concludes the discussion for this morning. I'm going to let you marinate on that a little bit. If you have comments, please put it in the chat below. What do you think? Is this asking too much of you as a partner, as a wife, as a girlfriend, as a domestic live-in partner, homie, lover, friend? Where do you get on and off the wagon on this one? This is a lot, right? It's quite a lot. I thought I'd back up and get out of your face a little bit. What do you think? Let's talk again next week. Bye for now.